Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins.
Hey everybody, it's D here from DayLate Gaming, and today I am going to be playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm excited and I'm very nervous about this game. I don't know much about it. I have seen a few little Let's Plays on it, so I've seen some of the game mechanics. Well, I guess I do know a good bit, just from the little bit I've seen. I'm nervous because the combat looks very clunky and it doesn't look very intuitive. And I think that's going to cause issues later on, especially because this game's based during war. There's going to be I would assume there's a lot of fighting. And I also know that the saving is very odd and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I understand they want to make it realistic and everything, but I think it's really weird that the only time the game saves on its own is during when you're doing the main story, or while you sleep. And the only other way to save is to make some kind of a beer. What is it? Savior schnapps, I believe. It just doesn't seem very intuitive. I mean, I can understand trying to limit your saves, and so that you can't do something like in Skyrim where you can go into one room, or Fallout where you can go in one room, save, clear it out, go to the next room, save, and clear it out, and save and move on and everything. Also, if you're coming up to like a hard decision, you're not sure what you want to do, it makes the decisions have a bigger impact, which is understandable because you can't exactly just say, okay, well, I'll just back out, save, then go back into the conversation, make my decision, and if I don't like the outcome, go back and do it again real quick. No, once you make a decision, you're committed to it. But at the same time, with how early in the game it is, or with how young this game is, there's still a lot of glitches. So I've heard that people are losing a lot of gameplay because of a stupid glitch and because they can't save whenever they want. So I think that they need to have more auto saves, like maybe just every so often the game just auto saves, or once you start a quest or once you end a quest or something, it should auto save at least. I really hope that's something they fix soon. Now, if you're playing on PC, I've heard they already have mods out that let you use, I think the mod like gives you unlimited schnapps or something, so you can save whenever you want, pretty much. The PS4 people or the console people, we're kind of screwed. We don't have that option, so we have to be very careful. So I'm definitely going to want to learn how to do that right away, or as soon as I can. How to craft those and everything, because I heard they're very expensive. But I mean, besides those two things, I think the game has a lot of possibilities. I mean, I didn't know that there was as much to this game as there is. Like from watching, like I said, watching the few Let's Plays I've seen, you can. It's amazing how much mechanics are in the game, like your charisma and your ability to persuade people. Isn't just based on like a skill, like in like in Bethesda games. I mean, if you know, in this game, having a charisma of 10 doesn't really mean much. It's also how you look. It's also based on your reputation. If you're known as like as a drunkard, then a lot of people won't take you as seriously. So even though you have a high charisma, if you have a bad reputation of being a drunk and a troublemaker, stealing things and getting thrown in jail and stuff, then even with the high charisma, you could fail a lot of speech checks. And it's also based on how you look. I mean, if your clothes are really nice and they're clean and you're just a well-groomed person, it actually raises your charisma. And I keep saying charisma because that's what I know from like Fallout and Skyrim, and that's the only time I've really had those are the only games I've really played that use like speech checks and stuff. But yeah, but just being well groomed and looking very noble, like even if your charisma's low, having those could raise it and make you pass certain speech checks. So it's very, very interesting, and there's a lot of other details in here. Like I've actually heard something about how your character doesn't even know how to read. You have to learn how to read. So if you find skill books and stuff like that, they're completely worthless to you until you learn how to read or something. And I think that's a really cool detail because that would fit with the time. Being a blacksmith's son, he wouldn't know how to read and write. He'd be learning the forge, and that's about it, or some other trade if he didn't want to do blacksmithing, which, from what I understand, the time period wouldn't happen. Even if he didn't want to be a blacksmith's son, he'd still be a blacksmith. So I'm excited and hesitant at the same time to get into this game. I think there's gonna be a lot of frustrating things, but I think at the same time it's gonna be a lot of fun. Another thing I think is really cool is I'm fascinated by history, but I have a hard time with history, trying to remember dates, names, periods, and things. It all gets mixed up in my head, and I have a hard time lining time periods up. I can think of one particular country and know some of the things about it, and then I have a hard time grasping that, or I have not grasping, I have a hard time remembering that the other civilizations and other countries around have similar things going on. Like Aztecs and the Mayans and everything being around at the same time as, in Hungary and everything with all this going on and stuff. I have a hard time grasping that or remembering that, and it throws me off sometimes. So I don't know how the story is going to go, but supposedly it's all real. Like if you're a real history buff and you know this time period, you already know the ending to the game. I don't know if you can like change the outcome of the ending anyway, or if it's got a certain outcome already. But from what I understand, you could already know the ending. But from the few cutscenes I've seen during the Let's Plays, I think they did the story well. They made it very interesting looking. Definitely some motivation to go in. But I think they handled the cutscenes well. The characters seem decent so far. Kind of relate to them. Likeable, dislikable, and everything. So I'm very intrigued and interested, and I definitely can't wait to do the story. But That's all I had to say, I guess. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The early 15th century was a time of turmoil in the Holy Roman Empire, which had flourished under the late Emperor Charles IV, but now, with his son Wenceslas, the idol on the Bohemian throne, the king's inactivity angered many of the nobility, as well as his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Wow, they go fast. Wow, it's a very lush forest, a lot going on. Hopefully that's not just a cutscene, hopefully it actually looks like that. Silver Scholars, 1403.
God bless. Same to you. Today's a scorcher.
Well, husband, how goes it?
Good. I should get it finished today. Where on earth is Henry? I need him to run some errands.
He was still sleeping when I went out.
At this hour? Blue-blooded idler.
Well, it looks like he was out all evening, drinking like a lord.
Go and get the lazy bones up then. Quick clout round the ear should do it.
Mm-hmm. Henry! Get up now. There's work to be done.
Mother. Get up or I'll come get you up, you slugabed.
Hear that? You'd better not vex him. Now get up quick. Your breakfast is on the table. Wait, what's this? Have you been... Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you? You'd better pray your father doesn't get to hear of it. You know how he feels about it.
Oh, don't worry, it wasn't that. I just scratched myself is all.
Well, just don't come crying to me if you really do get hurt. Now get up, you rogue.
Well, that was odd. I was outside for a random moment.
A fine state you're in this morning. What on earth did you get up to last night?
By means of the first two choices in this dialogue, you will select your character's default characteristics. If you're not satisfied with them, not to worry. All characteristics can be further developed without limitations. Yeah, so it seems that in this game, you do have a character build, but your character's stats uh, can be constantly improved throughout the game by the actions you do. Uh, so like getting into a fight can actually increase your strength. Um, Going hunting can increase your agility, or along with a bunch of other skills. Now, you can increase your stats that way, but I believe that as you increase your skills, unlocking certain skills locks off other ones. So with your actual stats, they're unlimited in what you could do, and I believe in theory you could max out everything: your speech, agility, vitality, all of it. But the skills related to it can't be maxed out. And there's a lot of skills. Like I remember when one of the Let's Plays, they didn't really go over it, but I paused it and I was looking at the screen when they quickly went over or were scrolling through the menu, and there was skills for like drinking, archery, warfare, your swordsmanship, your blocking, uh, and then a bunch of other ones. Like I can't remember what else it said, but it was just amazing to see all the skills involved in it. Um, let's see. Now in this game, I'm kind of hesitant about because I'm hesitant about the combat. I know your strength affects your swordsmanship, so I think I want to go with a strength and vitality stat boost to start off.
I was sweating in the forge all day yesterday, and then I was helping Fritz and Matthew with some errands. So I'd say I have a right to be a bit tired.
Well, I've got a feeling there's something you're
A
not
new
telling
level,
me.
new parkour point
And
available.
it's connected with that scratch on your hand. And that suspicious-looking character with a sword who turned up in town recently.
Oh, so you can get so you can get a double bonus to strength if you want. I'll go with vitality. I was with Bianca.
I was with Bianca. Do you want a blow-by-blow account of everything we did? What's this, an interrogation?
All right, all right. Sorry, son. It's just that I worry about you.
Thanks, Ma, but I'm not 4 years old.
I know, Hal. You've grown up in front of my eyes. It's hard to get used to it.
Okay. Oh wow. Go to the sword fighting lesson. That's it. So because this game has an actual committed story, yeah, there's no character customization. Like you can't choose male, female, or how they look or anything. Now, one thing I'm curious about is, like I said, history buffs will probably know, and I highly doubt this actually happens, but I guess he becomes really important in the story's events. I'm wondering if they modified that for the game, or if he was like an actual character or an actual person that became important in the war. Because I know in one of the was it the cutscenes, or no, in one of the cinematics I saw, I mean, it shows him, starting off as a blacksmith's son, but at the end of the game, or at the end of the cinematic, he's standing there with a bunch of like knights, and he's wearing armor just like them. So he becomes incredibly important. So I'm just kind of curious when if they added him in or if he was actually there. I'm assuming they added him in because wouldn't imagine. I believe in real life he would get to a certain point and then they'd just be like, "Nope, be gone. You're a peasant. You're unimportant. We don't need you." But let's see. Have my friends been here? I'm hungry. Is Paul angry? Do you need help? Just go down one by one, I guess. I'm assuming it's gonna be kind of like, oh, yeah, I know it's kind of like Skyrim. It's not like Fallout. Like In Fallout 4, there was only certain options, which is frustrating. Like, in certain parts, you could only choose certain things, and then it would advance the conversation, which made sense, but was kind of frustrating because I wanted to see other options too. But in Skyrim, you could do just about everything, unless it was a charisma part. So I think it's which I like more because I think it fleshes out the story more and lets you know more about characters and such.
Did Matthew and Fritz come looking for me?
No, I haven't seen them this morning. They shouldn't be hard to find. They'll be hanging around a tavern somewhere as usual.
So it sounds like my friends are drunks.
That's unfair.
Really? So where were you until the small hours last night?
I was with Bianca, of course.
You mean at Bianca's tavern? And who was there with you? No, don't tell me, let me guess. Matthew and Fritz. Well, at least you were with Bianca. You should hold on to that one, Hal. She's a clever girl. And invite her for supper sometime. Your father's very fond of her.
Yeah, of course he is. He thinks he'll be able to wheedle the secret of beer brewing out of her.
You're right there. You'd think he was planning to become a brewer in his dotage. Still, that's your father for you. At least he's interested in something, unlike you lot. You're too busy getting into mischief to do an honest day's work. If Fritz and Matthew carry on this way, they'll wind up swinging one day. You mark my words.
She thinks they're going to get hanged.
Is Father angry with me for sleeping late?
He's not happy. Yesterday you promised him you'd help finish that sword for Sir Radzig. He's not as young as he was, and you know how his joints pain him. He's too proud to complain, but he needs your help, Henry.
I know. Don't worry, Ma. Of course I'll help him.
Good. He always says his knees ache when there's a storm coming. I hope they're wrong this time. It's looking like such a nice day.
Do you need me to do anything, Ma?
Ah, you're a good lad. But I'm fine. It's your father needs helping with that sword.
Can I get something to eat?
I left some breakfast on the table. Help yourself.
Okay. Move around using left stick. You can also sprint, circle, and jump with square. Interact with the world using X. Talk to people, collect things, open boxes. New codex entry. What's a codex entry? Oh, basic controls. Oh, wow, there's a whole lot. A lot more than what that little menu showed. Or that little pop-up showed. If you have a melee weapon, a sword in a sheath on your belt. It's odd that they say a sword in a sheath. They're very specific about that. So I wonder if you can carry a sword, but if you don't have a sheath, then you just constantly carry it in your hand. You can't sheath it and put it away. You draw it using the left D-pad. If you also have a shield that can be combined with the weapon, you'll equip it. Okay, so you equip both at the same time. Well, huh. So I wonder if that means, can you choose? So you can't choose to use your sword and shield, or just a sword. If you have a sword and shield equipped, you have to use both automatically when you draw them, at least. Alright. Equip your bow using right on the D-pad, crouch L3, call your horse, use triangle. Toggle your inventory down on the D-pad and open map using up on the D-pad. Alright. Oh, wow. Well, I'm assuming they're going to go through all this stuff, so I don't want to go through and I don't want to go through them quite yet. I'll wait till they come up as I go. Let's see, is there... Oh. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff. Farming, foreigners, furniture, greetings, guilds and crafts. Can you join guilds in this game? Locations. I'll actually I'm not going to read all these. I'm not going to go through all these things and read them. But this one I'm kind of curious about. It's your starting area. The extent of the KCD game world corresponds roughly to an area in southeastern Bohemia around Sasau. I believe that's how you say that. Sasau River, in which many historical heritage sites are located. The most notable including the Sasau Monastery and the castles in Bohemia Sternberg, Rete, and Skalitz, of which only a few stones can be found today. Yeah, you see, when I was in the military, I was stationed out in Germany, and that was one thing I thought was just really fascinating. Was you could be driving around down the highway and or on just on roads in general, and you could literally see just, I mean, you every so often you would literally see just stone structures. It could have been a guard tower. I don't know. Maybe it was part of some small lord's castle. I have no idea. Maybe it was a monastery, but it just broken down and some stones stacked up as part of a tower or something with trees growing in there. And I mean, you could see things like that just dotting the landscape occasionally. And it was just really cool looking. Uh, I was trying to think of why that popped in my head. I don't know why they came to me, but I guess just thinking of the area and everything. But let's see, what else is there? There's so L2 and R2 switch between the top part. Like right now I'm on the Codex. R1 switches between events, society, beekeeping, farmer, noble officials, shepherd, a tanner, characters. Oh wow. Yeah, then tutorials. But then R2 and L2 swap between inventory. Okay, so everything has a gold worth, and then they also have a weight. They have a durability. There's that. I can't remember what it's called. I want to say Iron Cross. I don't think that's right. But there's that. And underneath, some of the items have like a 1. So I don't know what that means. So I guess that's a count of how much I have in my inventory. But the trunk keys and the door keys are 0. Or they don't have anything. But so I would assume if they're in my inventory, then I have 1 of them. I don't know. Maybe it just means trunk keys and door keys in general. And there's another cross showing what I'm actually have equipped. And then you can go through each individual things. So when I was choosing my stats, I leveled up. So let's see. Okay, so that bar shows how far along, how much experience you have, and how close you are to leveling up. Uh, yeah, because that shows strength and vitality. My strength and vitality are both up by 1 level. My main level is pretty close to leveling up. But altogether, there's strength, agility, vitality, speech, charisma, visibility, and conspicuousness, noise, speed. Wow. The status of your nourishment. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because that's another thing that's crazy. You got to monitor how hungry you are and how sleepy you are. Uh, your hunger is under nourishment. Right now, I'm less than half because, and that's what he was talking about, breakfast. I need to eat. And then there's energy because I just woke up from sleeping. I'm up to 100. And then there's stamina, which is 112, and health, which is 100. I guess I'm assuming speed is how fast I can move. I guess the lower the number, the slower you are. Uh, Noise, I'm assuming that's the same way. The higher the number, the louder you are. The lower the number, the quiet. I'm not sure what conspicuousness does. I guess I wonder if that's how people view you. Like the higher the number, the more shady you look to them, the more less trustworthy you are. I'm assuming visibility is how well you can see. Or maybe it's how hard you are to detect. So I'm guessing the higher it is, the easier you are to see. Charisma, wow, mine's 7. It sucks. So all of these can, wait a minute, because these ones can level up. So these ones can't. These ones are, I'm assuming these ones are adjusted by your clothing and the current status of your character. You know, its health, any injuries, those kinds of things. Um, let's go ahead and let's start off with my main level and work our way down because it says info and show more. Info. Level is derived from your stats and your progress through the game. It's useful for comparing your character to that of your friends. With every second level you reach, you can select one perk that will allow you to make your character more specialized. Okay. So when I hit, because I'm currently level 1. Oh wow, you start off at level 0 in this game. So every 2 levels you level up. Alright. Or every 2 levels you get a skill point. Alright, that's cool. Let's see, show less. Let's... Oh wow. I guess these are the skills that come with it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that word. Ascetic, Manly Odor, Knight Rider, Scout, Wanderer, Insomniac, Renegade, Brand, Burger, First Aid 2, Savage, Scout 2, Brute, Cloak and Dagger, Golden Tongue, Juggler, Ken, Scholar, First Aid 3, Infamous, Local Hero, Scout 3, and Contemplative. Huh. So I wonder if these are all the skills that are related to your main level. So I wonder if like every 2 levels I can pick one of these. Now I wonder if you're able to get all of them or only certain ones. Okay. My strength. Strength defines how well a character can handle physical challenges. The more strength, the less depletion of stamina when wielding heavy weapons. Most weapons except daggers and sabers, and the more powerful your attacks. Each level up of... How do you scroll? Oh, okay. I lost my spot now. Each level up of strength also significantly increases the capacity of your inventory, as well as influencing how fast you can sprint with a heavy load. Strength is increased primarily by combat. You get strength perk points at every other level up. So it's level 2, current experience 0, required 110. Alright. So it's what you'd expect. It increases from most games. Or it's what you would learn from most games. It levels up your weight load and your strength with weapons. So I'm not gonna. So I don't want to be using daggers and sabers. Well, I can use them. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking Dark Souls for a second there, thinking that as I leveled up my strength, daggers and sabers would be less effective. And no, that's not it. It just minimizes how much stamina I use when I'm wielding those weapons. Okay. So let's. Oh wow! So under strength, there's a lot more. Gravedigger and Stronghold. Those ones have a little. I'm not sure what word that is. Like or what, I'm not sure what to call them, but they got like a little pip ident, making them stand out. Buffs 2. Wait a minute, so if you look at the top, oh wait, never mind, I was looking at the wrong button. Combat. Oh wow, defense, warfare, axe, bow, mace, sword, unarmed. Skills. Oh, there we go. Oh, reading, pickpocketing, maintenance, lockpicking, hunting, horsemanship, herbalism. Man. Buffs, hunger. Oh, debuffs, because I'm hungry, yeah. Reputation for each area, scallots. Statistics, general, combat, crime, quest, dialogue, craft, gambling. Man. Okay, so I can learn one of these. I guess I need to level up more before I can learn any of the other ones. Alright. So what's Gravedigger? Carrying dead or unconscious bodies won't cost you any stamina, and they will burden you only half as much. Alright, so I guess if I'm doing a stealth thing, I need to, I'm going to need to hide the bodies. That's pretty cool. What's Stronghold? Blocking an opponent's blows will cost you 30% less stamina. Minimum level 2. I think I'm going to go with Stronghold because I don't think I'm going to be carrying any dead bodies around and hiding them anytime soon. And I think that being able to block attacks is going to be far more helpful. Do you really want to learn this perk? Accept. Okay, and once you learn it, it becomes all golden. Well, I don't know if they're all going to be golden or not, but it's lit up, it's colorful now as opposed to the other gray ones. What's Clinch Master? Gives you a 1/3 higher chance of overpowering your opponent in a clinch. Huh. Man, this is just insane on how much stuff they have. But okay, let's go ahead and minimize that. So can I learn something from agility? No, he's only level 1. They just show them. So I wonder, yeah, it says, my speech is up. So I wonder if, yeah, because I have 9 experience out of 80. So I wonder if just talking to people levels up your speech craft? Like even just chatting with your mom will level it up. Huh. Alright, let's go to Vitality and see what I can do. Nothing? That's level 2. That's odd. Oh, minimum level 3. Wow, Marathon Man. Your run speed is slow, 20% slower, but you use 20% less stamina. Can't be combined with the Sprinter perk. You run faster, but also tire faster. Sprinting is 20% faster, but costs 20% more stamina. Ooh. That's... Yeah, would you want to be able to run longer but at a slower speed, or shorter distances at a faster speed? I would say the running a little slower, but for longer periods. Yeah, so I think I got to go with that one. It doesn't matter. I mean, I can't do anything with Vitality. I just think it's odd you have to be level 3 to get any of those, but with Strength, it's level 2. I wonder, is Agility the same way? Minimum level 4. What's Fast Striker? Oh, so weapons. Oh, your attacks will demand 30% less stamina, but also cause 20% less injury. Applies only to weapons that are based on agility. So they do have weapons in here that are based on your strength or agility. Okay. Oh. The player's character and abilities are determined by the stats, skills, and perks you will find in the player tab. Henry basically develops his abilities constantly simply by using them. Once every few level ups, the player can choose a special... Man, that's... I like to think I'm a good reader, but man, that went by quick. Yeah, I accidentally hit the... something on the stick. I think it was the right stick? I guess not, I don't know. I hit something by accident and it just disappeared. But alright, I think that's enough with the stats. There's all sorts of stuff in here, though. Man, yeah, you can learn more skills with each stat. So why can't... the bow you can't? That's odd. It's really odd they would have so many... Yeah, it's very odd they would have skills for everything except the bow and unarmed. That's really weird. Yeah, your overall... Man, there's even more. Stealth. Oh, there's just one more. Yeah, buffs, reputation, statistics. Okay. Real quick, I need to go back. I can't remember. Up. Okay. I was trying to remember how to open up the map. Let's go ahead and eat. I have to sit.
I feel quite hungry.
Pick up inventory. So to eat, I have to sit down. I can skip time. This can't be done while sitting. Well, you wouldn't let me pick it up while I was standing. Oh wow, you don't just... Ah, crap, I accidentally hit sit. No. What's that little book with a plus symbol that popped up next to the food? Huh. Alright, so this is a little touchy. Now, with how in-depth and realistic they're being about everything, I wonder, does food have a expiration? I don't want to sit. I want to grab more food. Why can't I grab that food?
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Oh, here we go. I just think it's really odd I can't sit down and eat. But then they're going to make it very inaccessible to get the food from standing. I'm just taking everything. I don't know if I need it all or not, or maybe most of it is. This is a little awkward. Alright. So let's, wrong button. Food. Doesn't say how much it's going to give me unless... There we go. Lentils are readily available legumes that make a good base for soup. Nourishment 8. Huh. It gives me 0 health. It gives me 2 energy. Durability days is 2. Oh, so they do. Yeah, it can go for 2 days. Freshness. Yep, at 100%. So they do expire. Okay. That is cool. Bread has 4 days. Nourishment is 7. Energy 1. An apple can last for 5 days, but only has a nourishment of 2. But it can give me 2 health. That's good. Wow, this is really cool. Okay. So if you want to eat something, you have to hold it. You can't just tap it. Okay. Yeah, my nourishment went from 40 to 47. Yeah, I'm at 56. 16. Well, I was looking at the wrong thing. So I'm up to 73. I don't know if that's enough or not. But I don't really see anything. Ooh, jeez. Drop in the pot? What am I going to drop in the... I don't have anything to drop in there. Wonder if I could poison it or something? So what did eating that do? Yeah, nourishment up to 98. Wow, I could have just came over and ate that like, what, 2 or 3 times? And that would have maxed me out. Could have saved all that food. So was I sleeping in here? Like, is that my bed? Is that where I sleep? Ooh, a trunk. What's in here? Nails for Theresa. I'll go ahead and grab that just in case. A bandage, a marigold decoction. There's a take all option. That's good. Let's see what the info says. Clean linen used to stop bleeding. Nice. Within 1 minute will cure light wounds or dispel hangover effects. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it doesn't expire. Wow, it's worth 35 gold. What is it? Groschen, I believe is what they call it. Nourishment's 5, health 30, energy 4. Alright, yeah, take all of that. Cool. So what's through here? Oh wow, that's a lot. We have a lot of food. We have a crap load of food. 15 apples. Oh, I didn't take anything, did I? No, I didn't. So why is it? Is that a way of showing you what you have and haven't looted? Yeah, this was open, now it's closed. Well, that one didn't change. And these are all the same. Let's try this. Carrot. Yeah, that's really cool. It's a way of showing you what you have and haven't looked at yet. That's neat. Oh, another chest. What's in here? Lockpick. Easy. You don't have a lockpick, of course. Alright. What's that on the wall? So there's like random bags hanging everywhere or sitting around. You just can't get them. Alright. Well, this is neat. We got ourselves a nice little house here. Oh, that's right. We actually... Yeah, we're not actually in the village. We're outside of it. Well, outside the village, but right there's the Lord's house. Can eat from pot, drop in the pot. Alright. This is so cool.